and all the time is right. And you love the day. You look like Boston, and you love the day. Get higher, and you love the day. Should be dancing us in the sky, and you love the day. I got two bitches, they want all the time. Give it to you how you want it, yeah, move it in your stomach. Hotter than some ice, cooler than the oven. But Gucci kept on coming cause I feel like it's a London. Meet up with the queen that she usually wanna iron. Fly boss bitch, baby, she turned the lights off, hey. Yeah, we did the call up, I'm so up. Y'all know what man, baby, you know buzz. Like yes, I got it, you niggas. Taking these shot blocks, getting there with my niggas. Better for you to die instead of my niggas. Niggas turning they backs, I'm better with niggas, yeah. Okay, back to the bitches, never the hell home. One thing I sell dope, one thing I'm in jail though. The other one think I'm a mail hoe. The other one don't know I got a cell phone. You look like Boston, and you love the day. You got high, and you love the day. You should be dancing us in the sky. Love the day. I got two bitches and they want all the time. You know, DoelowDaPilotman, flight boss, everybody big, everyone Georgia, next, my ship, hip hop, Prince, T.O.Y. top of that style, 45, got buzz right here, no thinking, no toy for it. HBO like in the plain flesh, old type. Gotta freestyle any day that I want to. Flight boss, but you know that I want you. Ain't no I'm in the sky and I'm up to. Baby, no, I ain't never gonna front you. Ain't no, I ain't never gonna front you. I don't care, baby, you know I'm in love, boo. Flight boss, bitch, like that, grab that. Don't get backslash.
The native Mark Morris said, I
don't really give a fuck. Like you took on baby, I really give a fuck. Baby, you know I'm digging, I put it in the past. Flight boss, flight boss.
For real. Lighten up, man. Lighten up. Stop drinking alcohol if you're a native. Stop smoking cigarettes if you're African American. Stop popping pills and stuff like that if you're a white person. And stop being around butter knives and stuff in the kitchen when you don't like what's going on in the news if you're Puerto Rican. Everybody will be able to lighten up. Eating your skin, all that real stuff. We talk about inside though. We talk about inside. Lighten up. Lighten up. You know what I'm saying? Real style. Y'all be depressed. I hate seeing depressed people. Go listen to some Kurt Franklin. Aztecian symbols and stuff like those still flying around. Space Eagle wolf dog. And all of that. Space ghost dog. It don't go no further. Now we're gonna go back to let's get real. So we're going to talk about actual science, not something that somebody goes get $1 million of. Everybody's still lost and ain't no cures. And we're going to talk about God's washing machine cycle. We experience it every day. And you may not understand it's something of God's doing, not ours. No matter how much we manipulate it, no matter how much we remix it. And remember, our spirit is first. and we just create mental forms that condense and become organs, all the way how we see animals, parasites, all the way to the human at this moment. So for the most part, this is putting us in a better perspective of knowing that first it's about the spirit, period. And we all one there. Now, all of our jobs and duty from a spiritual world develop in the mind first, and that condenses and become the atmosphere and the environment, and then how we relate that to each other in some way, shape, or form. So we all got a separate duty and task that it seems like we're doing something similar. We just need to do it rightfully in our own perspective, the right way, in sync and relatability. And then we're able to do that together much more rightfully, which we're already doing this when I'm getting ready to break down anyway. It ain't what we do, it's how we do it. How we be doing stuff be flunked out. You see what I'm saying? So you got to keep this in mind and things of that nature. Somebody, well, that ain't my issue. Somebody said all black people do is talk about God. This because they got it from Europeans and stuff like that. So it's like a different kind of concept where they think they're talking about a noun, but it's an adjective. And then when they start describing the adjective, it never break down as a noun. You could describe somebody walking on water. We'll never see nobody take those actions. You know what I'm saying? We could describe what somebody get ready to do. We'll never see that person describe the actions. But what we do see is people coming in the name of that. Joel Osteen. So Joel Osteen will tell you real fast, he ain't Jesus, but he coming in the name of Jesus. How much sense does that make? You know what I'm saying? So for the most part, it ain't all black people. You know what I'm saying? All ethnicities and stuff like that kind of got that complex. You can replace the word God with all possibilities. You know what I'm saying? Replace word God with all possibilities. But then it's a mechanism. Since y'all want to look at everything as a machine, what make all possibilities work? Based off your level of comprehension, you might only reach the height of a characteristic, but you have to get out your own bias. What characteristic does a human have that other things have also? And you're just going to find the characteristic of being relatable and being in sync. See what I'm saying? So you may, based off your level of comprehension, what you have access to be relatable and in sync with is just your level of consciousness and your spiritual root race at the moment. How humans be relatable and in sync may be different than how bees be relatable and sync, but y'all both doing being relatable and in sync. In order to get the bee nest put together, in order to get the beaver dam put together, in order to get the bird nest put together, in order to get the ant farm put together, in order to put these government buildings together, or these houses and plank houses and long houses together, which ain't nothing but what a fire department is. But for the most part, that's how you look at things in its natural state. You see what I'm saying? So God could be a term that's utilized for a bunch of individuals that's trying to generalize something from a optimistic point of view, not an optimistic, but an objective point of view. And you could kind of add optimism in there also because they want to consider God as good. But other than that, you know what I'm saying? If you lack comprehension, you may not even be able to break it down in a substantiated way like I just did. And then you could be on a negative end of it, such as the person who left that comment saying that's all what black people want to do. And it's the reason why I broke that down, because you got Joel Osteen out there. So you can't throw that all on black people. You see what I'm saying? Get some intelligence. But we about to get into some real intelligence, so you can see what we doing every day, regardless of having to wait till Thomas Jefferson descended to tell you what's going on. That's another thing too. When you lose yourself too much, you forget what's actually going on, and none of us can change what's actually going on. So what do I mean by that, right? Now, when we get into admixture, first it's either indigenous or aboriginal, which thousands of years ago aboriginal came to be. We're not gonna get into that discussion, right? So that's already a first basis of people still knowing what they are, but being mixed, and then that could go into other areas of being confused for thousands of years type of concept, based relative to each particular location and due to the fact of who's going on other people's lands, and y'all could do that type of dating. Y'all know Africa was probably colonized a little earlier in different forms, not colonization, but as far as searching for resources and stuff like that and having communion with the people, whatever the case. Then later on down the line, right over here, before colonization even exists, then over here, then once figuring out all the minerals and stuff like that is cool, but we ain't gonna get ready to get into all that. You know what I'm saying? What we want to get into is admixture. So when an indigenous or aboriginal, let's consider aboriginal African and Europe, and let's consider indigenous Asia and America, right? Or New WURLDIAH. So for the most part, here's the thing. When there's a mixing, there's no such thing as a, what they call that ethnogenesis. But what's happening is there's a situation where if there is mixing, there's still going to be the first generation or second generation that go back to what they're most in common with, and the DNA that take more in charge from the stronger parent, because y'all make up stuff when y'all claim the father or the mother is more. The matriarch means not in the way a government is ran, but family is initiated through the mother. And then patriarchy just means family is initiated through the father. So you can marry in or have a mixed child and then claim that child with a nationality, knowing that that child's still mixed, but doing certain things up under whatever mental form the other culture is doing. So that's patriarchy in its natural state. Before we get into all these capitalism concepts we're getting in, and now we have land and other stuff that blur the lines of what's actually going on and how this idea got created in the first place. So that. Now, here's the thing. Even if the first generation don't, let's say they go to another mix, right? It's still always going to be more of the DNA based upon the structure. You can't get away with that. Now, eventually, it's going to flush itself out. So that's the washing machine cycle, where the spirit that's being in charge of, I want more percentage of this DNA than the other one or whatever, even if we're doing the mixed thing, eventually it plays out a flushing system and everybody go back pure again. Now, here's the thing. What do I mean by this? Because you might say, or a lot of people in certain biases. This is what we all going through. Let's give a live example right now. What's the basketball player name? That go with Lala or had kids with Lala. What's his name? Damn, I forget his name. What's the basketball player? Because y'all don't like to have real conversations like this, and then y'all run away from it when it's about Native Americans that actually no other ethnicity have to have this type of conversation. Carmelo Anthony. Shout out to B Bodie. Okay, now we got some regular people in the chat. Thank God we ain't got all trolls today. Thank God. All right, Carmelo Anthony. Now, he's considered African American and Puerto Rican, right? But really look at him. What parent DNA was stronger? It varies. It don't matter if it's the mother or the father. That's a personal thing when people come together and fuck and whatever that they did to dilute their shit. You could be an alcoholic. Your DNA will be stronger. Being the man with the sperm cell or the female with the egg cell. Let's say she an alcoholic and let's say she's just as dark as Nigerians, right? The kid that they have, a little boy or a girl, going to be the complexion of the father. See what I'm saying? Due to not just the skin complexion and pigmentation, other things. Other things is involved. Your health, your hormone balance, all of that, what you eat, all of that shit is involved. And if your hormones unbalanced, you already getting fucked up with your own type of shit. You see what I'm saying? So it don't stop you from having kids, but it do stop it from having all the nutrients in the stuff. And this is why a lot of kids, like all of us, be having health issues that play out in other areas that doctors may not always know is wrong, because it's just a lack of something that both parents wasn't replenishing, or one or the other. So it goes deep into that also, which scientists know that. Doctors already know that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? But let's get in what I'm saying. Carmelo Anthony, when you really look at him, right? What side do you consider he took more of? Even if it's almost close to the other one, it's still going to be one that outweigh the other. And in all actuality, you can't say he looked like Akon. So you're going to have to say, all right, his percentage scale of Caribbean or whatever the case and Puerto Rican, obviously the Puerto Rican was more stronger. So he's a generation, just one generation from his mother, whether she was the African or Puerto Rican, or whether the father was the African or the Puerto Rican. And he went with another Puerto Rican.
So in all actuality, Carmelo Anthony is Puerto Rican mixed. That's how we have to start looking at things. We can't look at it like mixed and then we get into ethnogenesis and think there's new races being created where we can't see a white person fucking a Chinese person today in Siberia and them make it Indian. So y'all know that's made up. And then why y'all want to believe that Indians is from Siberian? So somebody gonna walk a whole continent? Y'all believe that? Y'all, where was all the stations that people have to stop to survive that you would have to do even in your own city or when you on the road and you need to take a break? You know what I'm saying? Y'all be believing European starting points from their alternative motives to why they be creating what you only listen to as history. But you never want to go to the people. So when you want to talk about Nation of Islam, you don't want to go to the people over there and know what they know about it. When you want to talk about Muslim, you don't want to go over there and ask what they know about it. When you want to talk about Jesus, you don't want to go nowhere in Palestine and hear what they're saying. You see what I'm saying? Y'all don't want to do that. So y'all do the same thing here. So understand that too. But for the most part, here's the thing, right? Because how can someone who ain't those people tell everybody else where those people came from if those people still there? And then just because it's a system set up where only they words matter because they came over here with the mail and shit like that to send messages through the wind, how we did it and stuff, and you lost your culture, you don't have no comparing and contrasting who will be more right and who to listen to, and then you're only filtering an indoctrination. Walt Disney said this is what it means for something to appear to be right if it's on Google. So I'm saying, so you're not getting into the intent and what motivations an individual was in before they came up with their rhetoric or whatever the case. So when you actually look at Carmelo Anthony, and if he had kids with Lala, their kids is Puerto Rican. Lala Puerto Rican. He's basically Puerto Rican mixed whatever. If he was the other thing, he would be that the other way around. He would be Arab first, then Puerto Rican less, and then we would see it. See? If his father was extremely black, we would see it on him. Obviously, his mother DNA. What other thing is making how he look other than our blood? We can't get past that. So when it comes into the washing machine cycle, what Carmelo Anthony did is eventually what everybody does. Everybody just go back to the pure thing. There is no such thing as something new being created. See what I'm saying? If y'all want to quote unquote believe, black is just a consist of things. White is a consist of things at this time. But you still can't block what it is. So even if a white and black person have a child, you're not going to say it's a new ethnicity. So this is why you can't even listen to other people when they say ethnogenesis. When you could practice it today and see if that works. You're not going to see no white person, Chinese person make an Indian. You're not going to see a black person and a white person make one or the other. You're going to call it mixed. And then if one become more dark or whatever, oh, my DNA strong. If one become more light or whatever, the other one going to say my DNA strong. The conversation can't go no further. You can't make up a conversation. This big ass raccoon. Oh, that's a cat. You can't make, because I'm about to say that they got rabies out right now. You can't make up that's a new thing. Because that'd be disrespecting any black and white person together right now and the children that they had. You're disrespecting their children, trying to make up a new name for them. They're going to be like, nah, my mother white, my dad black. You see what I'm saying? You see how you have to make this simple in real life? It's a little kitty cat. Get out of here. Like, we have to make things make sense right now. So let's say if one is more light and they chose their white side. If they go fucking more Irish or whatever the case may be, eventually they're just back white. And the kids, the descendants, is just back white. And then an elder or elder woman would have to explain the dark person in the family. That's just the people who was coming to where you was probably already was at. So it's a smaller percentage scale. And then that's how larger populations happen. But also through the washing machine, this how certain small pockets of ethnic groups get erased. See what I'm saying? So it's a thing where the erasure might come from the national term, but the blood don't erase. The blood is always, so they got a concept where they call what? Alien blood, alien DNA. That's just anybody who indigenous or aboriginal. You know what I'm saying? So instead of just the blood, because everybody's scattered, you have to think a certain way and act a certain way, because that's where the mind and the blood is coming from. And then that's how I guess the government is doing these studies. That's how they're able to see it. You know what I'm saying? So y'all could do y'all research on that too. So that could go for people in Africa, Caribbeans, natives here, people in Europe. And and you might be a young kid, and then they call it chosen. So they'll be sending a lot of people around you and stuff like that, that you may think you special, but these people have all the other alternative motives to why they're giving you that type of energy, or however the case may be. But for the most part, when you think about washing machine cycle, so let's go the opposite direction of just making it simple, like how we use Carmelo Anthony and Lala as an example. This happens for everybody. So don't get into your bias thinking it's not happening for everybody. So you don't get into a lost concept too of making up a new race. There is no such thing as making up a new race. Even getting into native and tribes, but that's one collection of people. Europe and different Europeans, but them one collection of people. The atmosphere and the environment make the land. Africa, the Negro tribes and Arab tribes. Asia, see what I'm saying? So it might be different tribes, so you don't want to practice incest, but you're still amongst the people that share, just like the parasite, the bugs, the sea creatures, and the land animals, such as you being a land animal too, and it's relative to your geographical location. You see what I'm saying? So that your spirit also goes back to your geographical location too. Let's say you're part of a large group of individuals that move to the Bahamas. But when y'all die, y'all spirit truly gonna go back to where it came from, or things of that nature. You had to root yourself into that space for a long time and be in a hell, and that's the only way you would be able to remain in that space. The creation of hell. Lost in your mind and play out physically. When we get lost in our mind and play out physically. So you end up not being where you belong physically and things of that nature. So your spirit only know how to interact what you used your mind to do with your body. So it ain't gonna know no difference, even if it ain't got no body. And anytime it's miscomplacent and had to think hard to do that, that hard thought is the only thing you can live in. The body, the extension is dead. So eventually, once you get out of that hell, which everybody have grace, you do go back to your land, or you go into people at wherever they at that match more of your characteristics. So that's the only relatable and sync pocket you could get to. And then that you might be born through a degeneracy to a certain degree, but at the same time, it's just a washing machine cycle that we are experiencing. So eventually, the generation that come after is always going to go more to the comfort zone, right? No matter the mixture. Let's say it's a lot of blended in Caribbean people right now, right? Eventually, it's going to outweigh, and then it's just going to be the Jamaican again. Then it's going to out based upon generation. People have no choice but to do it. You see what I'm saying? So this is why ethnogenesis don't exist, and also this is why admixture doesn't create new ethnicities. There's no such thing as that, and you can practice it right now. And if you speak otherwise, you're going to be disrespecting your kids. In all actuality, you're going to be. Let's just make it simple. Any black and white person right now know they're not about to call their kids something different than them. Now y'all can get in some ego all y'all want. The black or white parent might be like, "Well, I think my kid more of this," and then the other one might say they more of that. But in all actuality, y'all cannot say your child is something new. So eventually, whatever your child mentally start to come up with their attraction is going to start the washing machine cycle again. The black and white person, the mix, going to go with another white person, or go with another black thing or person, or some other race. But eventually, it's still going to play out as a washing machine cycle, because whatever that mixed person go and make another race that's not black and white. Eventually, let's say what DNA was stronger in that aspect, the generation after that might just completely interact with that full portion of just what they was mixed with. You see what I'm saying? Then eventually they just fully blended in with them. But there is no such thing as something becoming new. It's just washing machine cycles. Things go to pure. We could choose to mix, then pure, and choose. It's just, that's all. It's always, it does that. So whatever more of your DNA, that's actually what you are. What's lesser on a percentage scale is just what you mix with. That's it. We can't really have no other discussions. What other discussions can we have without us disrespecting ourselves and our children? To be for real with it, you would have to cope with another way of it. Like if you're making money with it, and then you got into like some type of science studies, and the whole goal is to make up nationalities and stuff like that, and try to flip it into a positive lens. Which it ain't nothing negative or positive about shit. I'm just saying that would have to be the original starting point for us to be in the lens like we're not disrespecting our children or ourselves at this point of humanity, and making it sound like it's feasible. It will only have to be feasible for someone's wallet or pocketbook to be in that ideology. You get what I'm saying? Because when we scrap out what we're doing in the external world and go to our inner homes, we go back to this example, Lala, Carmelo Anthony, or a black and white person who have a child. They're not about to say this is an Indian from Siberia. They're about to say this is a mixed Asian and a mixed white person. So that, and then the only reason why stuff getting tricky is because when Aboriginals mix with indigenous people, Aboriginals are already an origin of a mixture. So here's why we always have a hard time trying to figure out Aboriginals' origin stories or albinos' origin stories. So that goes for Africans, the Negro tribes, and Europeans. But these be the main people invested into taking charge and speaking for everybody else and creating systems only they can win in, like written literacy, and literary histories and stuff like that. You see what I'm saying? People who don't care about that already got oral tradition anyway, and then have to do these type of things because it's a crutch energy. And if there's more people becoming needing crutches, you got to play their game. So it's like the paper game, national term game and stuff. But that start off from being lost. That start off from not knowing yourself, going somewhere you don't belong, and having to develop something else. But eventually, it's always going to be a washing machine cycle where no matter what we're saying, something's still appear to be. You know what I'm saying? Something's still what it is. You know? So that's going back to Carmelo Anthony. So we would have to say he's Puerto Rican mixed with black. So any kid, and all he did was do the generation washing machine cycle a little earlier, did what everybody eventually do in some way, shape, or form. So what I'm saying, it ain't nothing good or bad to these things. I don't want people to get in their mind because y'all so lost in y'all biases and y'all want checks from the government so much, and then in another breath claim you don't need the government, which I don't understand that also. Then in the government eyes, they be trying to make everybody need them, which is why they probably troll my chat and stuff. But at the same time, when it comes to the real conversations, we don't want to put ourselves in a position where we are disrespecting our children for everybody who got children. So know when you're presenting yourself or in front of the public with a microphone or online or anything, know that you don't do that. You don't have that same mind frame when you cut those things off, take those clothes off, and you're around your family or your children if you have any. You know you're not in that mind frame. You know you're more in the mind frame of I may be trying to reach out to strangers that really secretly ain't really a secret. They're going through the same situation I'm going through, that none of these things is even a matter of a fact. But based upon this job that was created by maybe Mormons and the colleges and stuff like that, maybe that's what's more of the percentage scale on the passenger seat. And a lot of times this will make a lot of people from military or college deal with life better, so they don't get so emotionally stressed out for topics that has a large percentage scale of just strangers. Because you see a lot of these people, like politicians and stuff, get emotionally aroused from strangers, basically, and then take this type of hero concept. But the only way you're in that space is because you can't talk to your own family like that or your own friends. So you're looking to do it to strangers. And anytime that becomes a problem, we see that amongst gangs, or we see that amongst the government using force towards the citizens or something like that. It's like y'all keep trying to do non-existent stuff for reasons that don't really help anyone, not even yourself. So that's an issue too. But at the same time, when we think about the washing machine cycle, that's God's washing machine cycle, where everything flushes itself out. And no matter how much words is made up, it'll never be that. You see what I'm saying? So let's say if you disagree with what I'm saying, let's go back to the Lala Carmelo Anthony. You ain't gonna be able to lead us. Or a black and white person having a child. You're disrespecting their child. Because why is you trying to give their child some new name because you're lost in Mormon nationality or whatever? That child parents ain't getting ready to do that. So I'm saying, now, here's the kicker, right? The reason why I made that allegory is because every leader y'all ever had is in that same position. So they're, in all actuality, all debunked. Who's y'all leaders towards any movement that y'all claim right now? and tell me they not doing the same thing. Especially y'all Pan-Africans and stuff. Y'all up here, blackity black, black, or blackity black, black, or blackity black, black. Y'all married to Puerto Ricans. Y'all married to white women. Y'all married to, and I'm not saying nothing wrong with it. I'm saying you're in the percentage scale of adding on the passenger seat of what you might have just learned in the military or college, and it's basically because you're getting a check or something like that. The actuality of the matter, where really if your child was to grow up and hear what you're saying and stuff like that, that's the things that count. And that's what I'm talking about there. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about there. Because what does this do that's unhealthy for the government in the future? It make a bunch of people that is a melting pot start making up stuff, and now it become a problem for the actual military that may not be no more. Whereas this people want to be to themselves, but you can't even put everybody in a box because it's everybody now. And now it's a thing where everybody want to create their own little nation. At that point, no government going to be needed, no military going to be needed, no police force going to be needed, and it's going to be chaos. Because that's all it's really doing. This is what you see young black and white kids going through. Not knowing what side to pick at times. And then that a lot of other people doing that. Caribbeans and stuff. Then they all just get together. You get this black and white confused. Then they got white and black friends. Caribbean confused. White and black friends. Mixed Asian confused. White and black friends. Now you got some other thing. Hey, we just all want to play video games and jack off all day. And then for the most part, now is another problem. You see what I'm saying? And now nothing's getting ready to make sense. And all these people still what they are anyway. But we not acting out in life that way. You see what I'm saying? So we got to make sense. You know what I'm saying? Because we're causing more problems than good. We're causing more damage than good and things of that nature. You see what I'm saying? And yeah, I don't know what people. We got some trolls in here though. Yeah, all y'all trolls. You know what I'm saying? What do I need to heal from? I'm a teacher online, so obviously we already done something. You're watching. You need to be healed. You know what I'm saying? So you got to think about it like that. Let's switch sides. If you was online every day, right? That mean it ain't no depression in your real life that make you focus on that more. And let's say I was you, and then I told you, I hope you heal, right? Why am I in my personal life on somebody else's shit, self-projecting, and for me to be in that position in the first place, I'm damaged about something. I don't have nothing creative to be doing. I like to just be online more than doing my shit first, so I can have something to express, right? So that's what actual healing is and what it look like. When anybody heal in real life, they're no longer damaged based off real shit. Let's say a person got cheated on and they're not damaged from that no more. They're not thinking about that person no more. They're not in front of that person's house throwing rocks at it no more because somebody else in there fucking or whatever the case may be. So you don't get to be on someone else's channel, and for them to have a channel in the first place is because they may have evolved themselves and had them a little bit more experiences than you. So that comes from different motivations. And your lack of motivation, but for you to be motivated in a smaller percentage scale, chatting and saying somebody needs to be healed is allowing someone who is healed to sound like they're a teacher, and for you to actually be in reality the person in the chat. You see what I'm saying? So I don't get a lot of times y'all starting points and frames. If a person doing what you want to do or doing what you're interested in, and you ain't the one doing it, you are the damaged one. You can't serve two masters. That's like if I wanted to play basketball, but I'm never playing basketball, and I'm judging Michael Jordan. But whatever Michael Jordan did to be on the court, obviously I didn't do. So I'm not healed. But why would I be trying to self-project that on Michael Jordan even if he had a fucked up game? The hell that got to do with healing or anything of that nature? You see what I'm saying? So like I don't get it. trust and believe me, in real life, if y'all ain't so lost in ejecticism, someone who's really not healed don't have time to even be a content creator. They would be online like you, watching people who may have went a little further than themselves. So it will be no other reason you're entertained by it. Now, for you to be on my channel, I may have went a little bit more the distance in my experiences in my life than you have. So I can say things you may can't say around your regular people, family, friends, or associates. I might could do things and look certain ways and express myself in ways you might can't. The simple fact you're interested, though, is because I healed something you haven't. Because if you was healed, the whole character and image and you even knowing about me wouldn't matter for you to even watch me. You wouldn't be interested. Same way I'm not interested into basketball. You know what I'm saying? So I could care less if LeBron James having a problem with his relationship. I could care less if Stephen Curry having problems with his relationship. I'm just not into basketball. So I'm not about to make any of my content about what Aisha Curry need to do or don't need to do. I've seen it. Believe me, I've seen it. For the people who do that, I let them do that. That's what YouTube is about. Let me continue to be Dayview. I don't need that being smeared everywhere else. And then the way the CIA try to make everything about politics. Man, we don't get that. Real people don't get down like that. We appreciate people in their lane and they do that. We don't want to see 10 other people jump in it and then make it some whole American crisis. Don't stop doing that stuff on YouTube. Stop. Allow one person for them to do that, and that's them. And that's what I click. You see what I'm saying? I don't want to watch no person review a review of a review and then they claim they channel lit because the CIA made it possible, because that the CIA want everybody to have opinions about stupid stuff, about people who trying to get attention that really nobody care about. I'm saying, to use it for monetary gain. I don't like that. I like seeing one person, one or two people that's in that field. I don't want to see that's why I always carve myself out. And business entertainment, it ain't what we do, it's how we do it. You can't get another version of me online. But you only can get people like that on YouTube. You can't get people like that nowhere else. People everywhere else got to start off like something, because the way they attack YouTube is the way they already gonna set up Twitter and TikTok and stuff. So you already got to be some type of clean cut that we shouldn't even be looking at things in a way of it's clean cut or not. Like, what is this? This is some personal pages like MySpace. You see what I'm saying? You're in people's personal mind. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't share common interests with an individual, this once upon a time, why YouTube had categories. I don't know why they got rid of that and try to make everybody into politics. I don't know why they do that. I don't know why YouTube started that. Even if we got different titles and we just slide in politics every now and then. Okay, who broadcasted it? Obviously, it's up for opinion, but these pages is just us in our personal life. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not a grand thing that we about to invest our time in. That's why the protesters ain't work like that. Yeah, we're gonna get online and talk about it like if we at the kitchen table, same way we all watch the news channel and talk about it. But once we go out in the world, man, that's it. That these things ain't helpful. So it doesn't make us that motivated to go be some protester about it. Like, I need to go talk to a whole bunch of strangers about what just happened in a whole nother city or state, even in your own. If you ain't part of these people's family, chill out. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're just a stranger using somebody, because that's what a lot of people was doing. And a lot of Pan-Africans was doing. What's that homegirl name who got killed by the police? Man, a lot of panhandlers came up around that time. Like, my spirit always tell me, run away from that shit. I don't care how easy it is to get into the algorithm. What's her name? It was something. Man, y'all know. Because it's a bunch of trolls. So y'all, the CIA, y'all was around these times. So y'all should probably know. The chick that got killed by the police. And it was a lot of scammers, especially from Pan-Africans, who blew up off of it on Facebook, YouTube, and man, they blew up off homegirl. And none of them really knew her though. You know what I'm saying? Damn. Sandra Bland. Shots. Thank God there's people cool in here. Fiery Moon. Because y'all know when I be an evil spirits, y'all know I'm just a defending. Y'all know I get up here happy, jolly, and shit. Then people get up here that's lames, make me feel like my manhood almost getting tested or something like that. I gotta remind people, like, wait a minute, man. We go on here as leisure time. We ain't get on here depressed like this a job. This is a leisure time when we off from smacking people upside the head and shit and really having to deal with life. You know what I'm saying? Like all that other stuff. But Sandra Bland, yeah. A lot of people got rich off that and shit like that and then nobody was really helping her or know her or her family or nothing like that. And the people doing that with Anita Shakur right now. She fought for what she had going on. She was beefing with the cops, not y'all. Y'all sitting somewhere in some office or something like that, trying to sound good. She was beefing with the cops, not y'all. You know what I'm saying? So y'all don't get to just, she wasn't thinking about everybody. I'm pretty sure she had in her mind only the handful of people that probably would have helped her if she wasn't, and so she didn't have to do that or something like that. And the only people who helped her get to Mexico or something, whatever the case may be. Them the only people she was thinking about, and the people that was helping her was involved. So that little small pocket of 50 to 100 to 300 people, man, they weren't thinking about everybody. They was in the same position you see all other scammers. It's the people that scamming now trying to say, psyoping their energy. Y'all ain't this, y'all ain't doing that, y'all ain't doing this, y'all ain't doing that. When people be coming together, it only get real big if they start getting past 50 people and get to 100, 200, 300. But they only be thinking about themselves. The people Anita Shakur was thinking about, right? She was, no, we don't need no bubble. I don't want to smoke no Chicago blunt. That ain't how I get down. You know what I'm saying? I ain't, we do it regular. You know what I'm saying? This is just a pastime. I don't even be smoking when I'm in the middle of music and all that shit like that. You know what I'm saying? I like to do it after the fact. Like right now, like when I get done with something, y'all see how I'm getting leisure time? Think about when you at work and you take a cigarette break. All right. I don't need no big ass blunt or whatever like that. You know what I'm saying? So when y'all see me lighting up part 2 or 3 or whatever it is, a lot of times it just be a whole bunch of big ass blunts in the damn ashtray. The big ass, y'all said this big ass shit in the ashtray. Like it ain't that deep. So that's why y'all can see it every day. Whatever y'all got in y'all mind, y'all are lost online. For an example, an actual rapper might sit there and go through ounces or something like that. How y'all don't even, for you to even see me with it, how you know it ain't just blunts rolled just for live, just for when I'm done with something, like, you know what I'm saying? But y'all will be in a position where, oh, online is real life, so it didn't look weird. So then when a person like me ain't monetized or nothing, I'm here longer than y'all and shit like that, y'all start talking stupid. Then everybody else who be talking about they got money or whatever the case may be, first people crying when they get demonetized. First people talk about Rumbo, Twitch or whatever. I mean, like, donate or I'm gonna cut the live stream off. Like, man, what the fuck? Oh, I need you guys in the chat. Like, y'all ain't in reality. I look at reality. You either a man or you ain't. Y'all diving too deep into other thought forms that in real life that don't be having anything to do with anything. Like, it's like y'all trying to, I don't get it. I don't get it, man. It's like y'all got to show more. It got to be more people online. Well, it is on YouTube. It's just they all getting shadow banned. There's real people on YouTube, believe it or not. I'm done with shouting people out, but it is real people on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Everybody ain't fake. Everybody is not fake. You know what I'm saying? For an example, right? I'm from the hood, but anybody from the suburbs will actually know, right? Let's say I got trolls and I don't even have as many views as, even though I do, they just be manipulated, right? So you'll see them come on my page, challenge me. How can we not think it ain't the CIA or nothing when y'all are funding people like Destiny and he actually got crackhead mannerisms and all these damn shit like wiggle jaw or whatever, right? And he's a video gamer. So you show us what y'all take serious and y'all not in reality. And then y'all show all the real people, even people who ain't content creators. We like searching for real shit. When I'm online, I like clicking on that one shit that's real, finally. Well, it's like it's a group. This is the only way I can think about it. College. It's like all y'all a team or something like that. No matter if y'all went to different colleges or something. But it's like when you have that lame energy and then y'all get online and manipulate everybody's algorithm, y'all make yourselves seem like y'all the whole world. And we could look at y'all facial expressions and tell that y'all not in the world. So that's what it looked like. But when they get into admixture, you know what I'm saying? Everybody always going to be in a washing machine cycle. Or whatever, and then you go back to your pure state. So we can actually see that in reality. So we can't have conversations like ethnogenesis and stuff like that. We're disrespecting our kids. I'm pretty sure Martin Luther King was fucking a whole bunch of other ethnicities and stuff like that. Look at it like this, right? Sometimes it'd be a trick played on y'all. They just did, and here's where it gets negative though, when the government be in on it, right? And you don't be knowing it. They did the same thing to all ethnicities. They did the same thing to Bruce Lee. They just did that to 50 Cent. So they sent Bruce Lee homegirl, right? And Jamie Lee, and then now he born. And so think about who getting all that money, right? They sent 50 Cent Daphne. Guess what? That's the only kid 50 Cent care about, right? Government fixed his ass. That's how the government be looking at it. They be looking at it like he ain't taking care of his other son. They getting ready to get 6ix9ine like that too. So 6ix9ine gonna be more of a father to a child that ain't even his, or whatever new child he have. The government be on some holy shit sometimes too. They just had a personal way of doing it. You know what I'm saying? That's real. This is real shit. This is real shit. You know what I'm saying? So 50 Cent child gonna get all that luxury, and he gonna be in white man's world, and he gonna have all the 50 Cent money. And guess what? 50 Cent DNA must be weak. So 50 Cent can say his child black all he want. Daphne can say no. Nuh-uh. You know what I'm saying? Because we can't get into disrespecting our children anymore. So we got 50 Cent child ain't no new thing. That's disrespecting 50 Cent child. We got to talk real. I'm a single father. Full custody. You know what I'm saying? Now, I already did the first generation full washing machine cycle. So I'm just speaking for people who think, and you 2 or 3 generations down the line, and you think it ain't get ready, you ain't about to do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? But at the same thing, at the same time, we can't disrespect 50 Cent child. We can't be like 50 Cent and some new, this is where derogatory terms like spit come from and all that other shit. Y'all chill out with that shit. People chill out with that. Like, this is real conversation. Y'all be getting online disrespecting people's kids and shit like that, like Charleston White's. Nah, calm down with that. You know what I'm saying? No kids involved, bruh. No kids, women, and old people involved, bruh, unless a female chose to be involved. That means she can handle it. So all that other shit, you know what I'm saying? She a grown-ass woman, so she could put on her granny panties and or auntie panties no matter how young she is and get with the 1-2. It's good, pimp. You know what I'm saying? So, yay. You know what I'm saying? So at the same time, we can't be disrespecting people's children. So we know that she took more of the child took more of the phenotype, but so you know 50 Cent ain't about the child ain't gonna go get no Jamaican or nothing like that. You know that. Especially the college was considered a good school and all these things of that nature, right? You know that. So what I'm saying ain't reality. It's just the washing machine cycle. You know what I'm saying? It's just the washing machine cycle. You feel me? Now, if he would have took more 50 side, or however the case may be, we have to say that. But once we start making up new stuff and stuff like that, we're going to be lost. It's going to be another religion, another 2,000-year-old argument. What name came up first from people who still got blood flowing through them? You know what I'm saying? So you got to peep game when it comes into these energies. That is, everything is through a washing machine cycle, and everybody go back to their pure state. But your DNA is always going to flush out, and you that anyway. You that first. Everything else is the mix, but you that first or pure. We can't take the conversation further than that, because so for all young individuals, keep track of people like 50 Cent's son. Carmelo Anthony's kids or whatever the case may be. And you don't have to be in no science class. You could go ahead and see it in reality. You're going to see it in reality. You ain't going to see 50 Cent's son holding up no gun signs and stuff trying to rap and things of that. That's not even his phenotype. Just because it's 50 Cent's, his wasn't strong enough. He might have been taking too many creatines or some goddamn shit. You know what I'm saying? That shit count. Once you start taking too much whey, creatine, and exercising, it worked good in one area, but in another area, it's still a depletion. Your DNA deplete. You know what I'm saying? That's a real thing. You know what I'm saying? So, you gotta peep game in this motherfucking shit. But we ain't about to say we don't see what's in reality. What's reality? You go look in the mirror. You know what I'm saying? A Mexican know they mix with Spaniard, white, and Native Americans. So they mestizos. They know that. Puerto Ricans know that became their problem with Mexicans, right? And Native Americans, like, we in between. You know what I'm saying? So Puerto Ricans know they mix with Taino, Africans, Arab every now and then, and Native Americans. So there's a lot of Puerto Ricans that may be Native American first. There's a lot of Mexicans that may be Native American first. But there's also a lot of Puerto Ricans that may be Italian. I mean, whatever, the Spangler first or whatever y'all call these Puerto Rico or whatever. I might be wrong. My bad. I don't want to mess nobody's stuff up. You might catch certain Mexicans that's more European first or whatever the case may be. We see it though. Like, let's have adult conversations. You know what I'm saying? So this takes us away from the ethnogenesis. You know what I'm saying? Eventually, let's say a Mexican go more with a I'll get my shows too. Might get off this shoe too. Shit too. I got 5 more minutes. And then let's say a Mexican that maybe more on the darker side. So that's probably more on a percentage scale of Native or the African or the Arab, or the Spangler. Oh, not the Spangler though, right? They're gonna go with another Mexican that's more of that, then eventually become the Native again. The more white one. Eventually it's gonna go to college. Eventually it's gonna meet another mixed one or someone pure, and then it goes into that energy again. It never fails. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. That's just how humanity works. But so when we get into Yakub and Jacob and stuff, you know what I'm saying? That's it sound good, but in all actuality, it don't exist. It's something that we're trying to do. You know what I'm saying? But everybody, you see what I'm saying? Like, we have to be real. Be real. So everybody, we gotta look at a percentage scale or whatever the case at this point. But that's the washing machine cycle. And we can't do nothing about that. God did that. We can't do nothing about that. You know what I'm saying? It just like a Irish person ain't gonna secretly become an African tribe. It's just not gonna happen. A Native ain't gonna secretly become white, no matter how much these lighter ones are that's on the West Coast or whatever the case may be. It's just not gonna be. No matter even a mixture, or whatever the case may be. Akon, DJ Academics, Myron Gaines. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter what we do. You know what I'm saying? Just like you could tie DJ Academics kind of to the Bob Marley circumstance. You know what I'm saying? So you can kind of look at that, because you know a lot of people will want to go against that and say, oh, they ain't black, or they ain't this or whatever, and Bob Marley had a white mother or whatever the case may be. Well, obviously someone had a more stronger DNA. But you can't call Bob Marley some new thing. Would you about to call him something new? And then when we get lost into these nationalities, we know that these are just geographical lands being named, not the blood that's flowing through you, right? So a lot of times, the highest level it can go in history is whatever group of people named themselves. And that's what we call in the land too at some point. But it ain't that they even had the DNA on their mind. That wasn't even nothing on their mind. They knew who the people were, which we still today. You know what I'm saying? So for the most part, we're trying to just get that evaporation thing out the way. How people want to say people just disappear, ethnogenesis or whatever like that. That don't exist. Ethnogenesis don't exist. A white and black person have a child right now. You cannot call that child something new. You say it's mixed. You see what I'm saying? You cannot say that child is something new. And you have to start there before we get into our biases and respiration conversations and stuff like that. We're going to be disrespecting our own children and things of that nature. Because everybody who even speaking like that is doing that in their home already. You know what I'm saying? Think about an African and an Asian person who had a child. Then they're listening to people coming up with names. And let's say their child might match what they're coming up with. What parent is getting ready to be like, don't listen to that? Both. Like both of them. Both the Asian parent and the Nigerian parent. Both about to be like, why are you listening to that dumb shit? You know what I'm saying? My father is this. My mother is this. My grand, and then the other parent about to do the same thing. It's disrespectful. Do y'all get it? So I don't even know how to even how this even became something weird online and things of that nature. Because for the most part, your auntie, your uncle, your parents, your mother and father, how would they hear that? Like, they're going to be like, you ain't about to tell me what you talking about. Like, I ain't had to experience this. Like, I know what I experienced. I know where I got moved from. I know where I'm at. I know what I had to do to put a roof over your head. Fuck is you even talking? You see what I'm saying? And we can't go past that. We can't keep leaving past these type of circumstances and stuff like that. So a lot of times we do, and we have unhealthy conversations and stuff, and then we don't get to no solutions that don't even be having nothing to do with the conversations we having. A lot of conversations that online is trying to have are disrespectful to people's children. So I just want everybody to understand that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these conversations online are disrespectful to people's children. And you are someone's child, which is why you probably feel disrespected a lot of time. And you up here protecting your culture. The end. It shouldn't go past that. This don't have nothing to do with no America issue right now. This don't have anything to do with no everybody isn't a retarded. You see what I'm saying? It don't have anything to do with that. We're talking about what people built themselves up to get their 1-2 in their life. And then people who even become content creators, it just seems like it's another way to help you with your 1-2. When they get further than that, and now it's used for objectivism, narratives, for some overall outcome, none of us are getting online, even to content creators is for. People who watch it for entertainment, especially on YouTube, and you're discovering people to be entertained by it. Hopefully they saying something that sound like it's the shit that you be talking about with your family, friends, and associates and coworkers in your living rooms and kitchens. That's what this always been about. You know what I'm saying? That's what this always been about. So it's counterproductive when it's being used otherwise. You know what I'm saying? So that has to be chilled back out also. So y'all gotta keep that in brain, keep that in your minds and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? On YouTube, chats don't matter. Opinions don't matter. You're up here expressing you. You know what I'm saying? So anything, positive or negative, just shows you're interesting. So this is even where the dead end online concept came from. Or online, it come from jealous individuals of people minding their business and able to build their own volition. So you just had a whole bunch of CIA attacking real people that just they on their own volition, they on their own creativity. So that's where all that came from. It's just childlike, though. It's all nonsense. It don't make no sense. So for the most part, this is what we're talking about. And like, I guess when people don't understand themselves, this is what they leave themselves to do, or whatever the case may be. But for the most part, we can't make this anything else. So we have to be adults. Don't make it anything else, or whatever the case may be. If you're on YouTube, special creativity. If you know how to teach like me, kick that shit. Whatever the case, and you'll have people discovering some new shit. You come kicking some shit that don't sound like anything that we already talking about in the car, in the living room, when we chill in the car, smoking in the living room, eating Thanksgiving, or whatever the case may be. This is what my channel about. And the more you either the CIA and you manipulate, we don't care. And the more you someone paid by the CIA, we don't care. YouTube ain't about that. We ain't up here, this person lit because they got a lot of views. No, we up here, I fuck with this person, and any retardation around it, it ain't even got nothing to do with this person. This person got the government hating on them. Or this person is actually lit. Why ain't nobody reaching out to this person? We're not in no other kind of energy. That's not how we connect. That's how not nobody in real life connect. None of that fraud, little weak ass person shit. So y'all got to understand that. Grow up. Even when you show you a troll, you show you are part of the CIA system that pay people to do it. You could only get your spiritual ass kicked online and then show us your hand by presenting on news channels that it's somebody secretly somewhere funding Ghanaians or something doing it. No, it's Americans. You wouldn't even be, why you watching us? It is never going to go no further than that until you become an adult or go on TikTok or something. People in our real life don't deal with that. Understand it. Stop acting like kids.